we have another instance here of Joe Biden maybe doing something good, only maybe, and only maybe to look good.
And quite frankly, 50K is not enough.
No, it's not, and I don't necessarily trust it. So this is another instance. We just talked about the military-industrial complex. Let me make sure I have this up. Now we have Biden still considering the cancellation of as much as $50,000 per person in student debt. So at first, he kind of talked it down to $10,000, which we were kind of all like, okay, yeah, of course he was going to do that. But now he's floating 50,000. So that kind of, perked my ears up a bit. So we haven't ruled out options, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said. The story at a glance, and this is out of The Hill. President Biden is considering his options for canceling student loan debt. Biden has signaled he would be willing to cancel $10,000 in student loan debt through legislation in Congress, which is nowhere near enough.
10K isn't going to make a dent in anything. It's ludicrous.
No. 44 million Americans have student loan debt. And, this isn't just people. I despise the people, or at least their thoughts. I despise the people's thoughts where they're like, well, if you didn't want to pay the debt, why did you take it on? Well, it's because this is what the society is forcing us to do. They say, if you want a good job, you have to go to college. Well, if you want to go to college, you have to pay all this money. You have to pay $100,000 to go to college. If people,
even at public university, it's outrageous.
So, absolutely.
Jen, I feel very strongly, I have very strong feelings about many things regarding this, but one thing that bothers me about what you're discussing right now is people that say that, I don't think they have a well-founded history of how we got to this place. Mm-hmm. So just to give you an example, when I was at UC Irvine in the early 90s, getting my undergrad degree, my tuition, my first year there was $500 a quarter. I think people need to understand that.
Yeah.
Yes, the younger generations need to hear this so it gets through their brains and they can argue back with the boomers, because it's the boomers that definanced the system, and they definanced it. So by the time I graduated, it was up to, I don't know, 2K. So it escalated rapidly when they started to definance the system. So when Bernie Sanders or Ed Markey or any of these folks talk about tuition-free public university, this is not a unicorn. It's not a pipe dream. It's something that we once had not that long ago, and it's something we should have again. They chose to definance our public university system under neoliberal privatization. And now, in addition to that, they're making money off of the loans that they give the students. It's outrageous. It's a double-edged sword, right? So we're going to definance the system, and we're going to force you into taking debt. We're going to make money off of you taking debt. And then to add the cherry on the sundae, we're not going to let you declare bankruptcy and get rid of that debt. Even if you declare bankruptcy, you're still going to owe those student loans. We have people that are on Social Security now because they signed for their kids' loans, and their damn checks are being garnished by the government. It's absolutely outrageous. Everybody should be in the streets over this. And 50K, it's not going to do it. Forgive all of it. You do it for the banksters.
Yes. Exactly. They do it for the banksters. They won't do it for the people. And that's the thing. They want people to go to college for the common good, right? They want people to be educated. They want people to be able to do a good job in jobs and careers that benefit all of us.
Yeah, which is all good. But don't then say to you have to take all this debt on and you're going to be strapped with it for the rest of your life. Make public university free again, as it once was. There's a reason that I don't have any student debt. It's because I was lucky enough to go through the university system before it got really bad. And here's another thing to keep in mind. This is really going to piss some of the Zoomers off. My part-time job while I was at UC Irvine paid me $16 an hour. And now it's fight for 15. This is how far backwards we've come in this country.
Yeah. And that I think astonishes a lot of people. When I graduated college in 2006, and when I look, I feel like what I spent for college for undergrad was obscene. But when I look at it now, holy
It's even
crap.
worse. Well, it was
Oh my
obscene.
God.
It's just even worse.
Yeah, no one can afford this. No, like, unless you are extraordinarily blessed, nobody can reasonably afford this. And there's no reason for it to be as high as it is. It's just become, they've made people feel like this is the normal, that this is the way that it's supposed to be. And of course it's not. It's not supposed to be this way.
It's the definancing. So just to give you an idea, the UC system here in California, when I was attending there, my first 2 years there, 96% of the budget was coming from the state of California. Now it's down to 8 or 9%. Less than 10% is coming from the state of California. That might as well be private university. And it's outrageous. And yes, I know these numbers are totally 100% accurate because I actually served on our alumni board. So this was something that when I was first exposed to, my hair caught on fire. I was so angry. I'm like, no wonder why these kids can't afford it. This is no longer public. The state should be ashamed of itself. And now they're asking alumni and corporations to make up those funding gaps. I don't want private corporations giving grants to the UC. The UC needs to remain independent, academic, and true to their mission. And the minute you start muddying those waters with corporate money or Koch brother money, because yes, the Koch brothers have been trying to finance universities to get their economics departments to agree to their curriculum, this is very damaging. It's one of the worst aspects of it. So I strongly believe, and I'm very passionate about this, obviously, that we need to refinance our public university system. We need to forgive all student debt. We did it for the banksters. Why not for the students? Why not for the people of this country that got educations because they needed to for their jobs? And, another part of that is the more educated the population is, the less crime happens because you do get better paying jobs. We should be encouraging this. It's an investment in our society.
It definitely is. And I hope that, the Zoomers understand what has happened. I think a lot of them do, but they also don't have really a choice because what are people going to do?
It's so unfair.
Yeah, it's forcing people, they do want to go to college. There's no alternative. There's nothing else that they can do if they want to go to college because all of the colleges are like this. So they're stuck with this horrible debt, and who knows what Biden will do. So here's what happened today in this hopefully new move, although it should be canceling all debt. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki signaled that President Biden is still considering his options on canceling student loan debt in a Monday press briefing. The questions came after Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, said Biden had been researching his legal authority to use executive action on canceling up to $50,000 of student loan debt per person. Psaki stated that Biden was more than willing to cancel $10,000 in student debt through legislation in Congress, but skirted the idea of using executive action to cancel a higher sum. So Psaki
is right.
Give some quotes talking about a policy review and a legal review, and the Department of Education, Department of Justice have to look at the options, and on and on and on. So
nonsense.
I wonder if she's kind of building this up to say, oh, we tried real hard, but we just couldn't. Look what Biden tried to do. I don't know what your thoughts are. Are they actually making a go at this or not?
I'm rolling my eyes. This to me is as ridiculous as the parliamentarian, thing. Let's find something to blame so we don't actually make any structural change. Also, do folks realize that the reason that you are tied to your student debt if you file bankruptcy is partially because of Joe Biden? This was something he backed. So he has been part and parcel to the problem from when he was in the Senate.
Yeah, he's been part and parcel to a lot of damaging and damning things, it seems.
Yeah, true, lots.
Oh my gosh. So
clearly he hasn't really shifted his opinion. And it's, what angers me the most is this idea of just desserts, right? That you were talking about earlier. Well, you chose to go to school. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You have to get a college education if you're going to get a decent paying job, which is unfortunate. We can get into the sidebar of vocational training and really, I think the minimum wage should be like $27, $28 an hour. I don't think there should be any skill set tied to having a living wage. It's ridiculous that people think that, in my opinion.
Right.
But I really feel strongly that it's not just desserts. It's not your just desserts that you deserve to be strapped with this debt because you sort of had no other choices if you want a decent quality of life in this country. That's just late stage capitalism rearing its ugly head.
Yeah, 100%. I'm baffled, and the more that this Hill article goes on and on, I think people will continue to be baffled because, as a reporter noted, Biden has said in the past that he would not cancel $50,000 in student loans per person. So Psaki responded, "We haven't ruled out options, but that review is ongoing and there isn't a conclusion on it." So why is this story a story? Why is this coming out now? Is it just to get some feelers out there? Is it just to put like a good kind of vibe out there for Biden, again, to say, oh, we tried hard? What's the goal here? I don't feel, maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Steele Miles says I'm wrong. I don't feel like Biden is actually trying to.
I agree with you.
To forget $50,000. Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed that last video. Hop on over to statuscoup.com where you can sign up for our email list and become a member for as low as $5 to $10 a month. Membership is how we grow. That's statuscoup.com/join. And remember, join our email list so we can grow the revolution with you.